Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com with your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. The Allgeier indicator. I have used the Allgeier indicator for 4 or 5 years to buy and sell cryptos. The Allgeier indicator just broke. 100%. This is my friend Dick Allgeier from Crypto Viewing. Whenever he'd get all excited, I knew it was time to sell cryptos. Whenever he'd get freaked out, I knew it was time to buy. Mr. Dick Allgeier has moved into a place where it is lovely to see him. He's sitting on the sidelines in his lawn chair on the beach, of course, in Zen mode, knowing it doesn't matter if the prices go up or down. First of all, the prices are rigged. Second of all, when the manipulation ends, you won't know the price of cryptos. That's cryptos are for the future. So today he posted a video. The world is melting down. Escape to the beach. Bravo, Dick. Bravo. That's the attitude we need. It is the Zen place of understand. Really cool picture, by the way, of understanding where we need to be, where our mindset needs to be, where our investments need to be, where your body, your soul need to be. There'll be plenty of time for action in the future. There's no reason to freak out if Bitcoin goes to minus $40 like they did with oil, or silver goes to minus $40. There's no reason to freak out about anything. Once you understand that price on these exchanges that have been set up around the world is a complete illusion, the fiat money part of it is the illusion, you're fine. And Dick Allgeier has figured that out. So I would say, hey, it's the end of the Allgeier indicator, which is fine. But it's the beginning of something new. And that something new is going to assist everybody moving into the future. We need to be calm. We need to sit on the sidelines. We need to not take any rash actions. We just need to sit in our lawn chair and watch the shit go down. Bravo, Mr. Allgeier. Speaking of friends, I'll be talking to Jenny Moonstone. She's on fire lately she's come to the same conclusion. You know, she was all ready to bear arms and get out there and fight with Trump to do whatever, fight the fight. And she has come to that same point. Last week I talked to her, or the week before, and it was a calm zen she has about the battle, about getting into the battle or just sitting on the sidelines, being calm. There'll be a time to fight, most likely. It's just not now. There's nothing you can do about it. The wheels are in motion. They have been in motion for a long time. This is all planned out. So just sit back and relax. As for silver, yes, silver is going to go up, down, and sideways. What is the true fair market value of silver? Today it should be 1-to-1 with gold, which is over $2,000 now. But gold is rigged too. But gold has a different rigging mechanism. The bankers have a lot of gold. So when the banks go down, they're going to have to sell the gold. But when the banks go down, the exchanges won't be open, so you won't even notice it. Basically, what's going to happen is everything will become unobtainium in this rigged market as the rigging breaks down. And clearly there are entities, powerful entities. And really in silver, the last time I saw this is when silver was trying to break out of $5. And the deep state was like, oh my God, if it goes over this is like early 2000s, late 90s. It was stuck at $3.50 to $4.50 for so long. And every time I get up to $5, they'd slam it. Every time I get up to $5, they'd slam it. And then one day it was like, oh my God, it's slowly moving over $5. Slowly, tick, 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 tick. And then the bad guys had to regroup, go to another price point, and take the hit for billions of dollars. And that's what's happening right now. So today there was a huge jump, or a huge fall down, and then tick, 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 up, back up, and then another slam. The slams are the shorts are weak hands now. Probably remnants of the JP Morgan, Bank of America lease I'm going to tell you what's happening. I'm going to talk to Jenny about that to find out exactly where that silver went. I have my theories, but I want to know from the spiritual world who got it and why they got it and what they're doing with it. So check that out. most important is this: in the last couple hours, this huge slam. They dumped these are COMEX contracts, by the way. This has nothing to do with silver. These are COMEX futures and options trading on a futures and options exchange that is on the side of the criminals. Just remember that. So they tried to slam it down, get people scared out, and then just poof, tick, 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 it comes up. There's strength. It's going to do the same thing at $30. Tick, 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 tick. And they're going to use even more power because ultimately the good guys have this in hand. And with what they're doing to Trump, it's time for the good guys to show their cards. Tick, 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 tick. Destroy the powers that be. Tick, 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 tick. That's what we're looking for in silver. Tick, 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 tick. And that's how it breaks out of the criminals. And then they freak out. Then they go, oh, shit, what am I going to do? How am I going to cover my shorts here? They said, well, I got some SLV. I got some CEF. Maybe that will cover it. But it won't. That's not real silver. It's not real silver in ETFs. I'm going to show you something I've been watching lately. This is the COMEX open interest. It's not big. I mean, yesterday, only 76,000 contracts. Well, it is big for a normal, if you look at the market as a normal exchange, because 360 million ounces of silver traded yesterday. But for the COMEX, that's not that big. And it's all these big banks trading back and forth to each other with a computer program run by a guy named Vinny Viola. Vinny Viola, remember that name, he's going to be in the news. He's the CEO of a company called Virtu Financial. What a horrible name for that company, because it's anything but virtuous. It used to be called EWT LLC, and it had to do with the Elliott wave theory, and it would work off the Elliott wave theory is a tech trader's dream. So well, you got this up leg and down leg and blah 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 blah. In a manipulated market, tech means nothing. Technical trades mean nothing. And they knew that EWT LLC would play against those using Elliott wave theory and just ream them every time. And it was invented by a guy named Vincent Viola. For those of you who might remember, Trump even nominated him to run the Navy. Now, this guy got kicked out of the Navy in, I think it was 79, with this gigantic scam at West Point. Anyway, long story short, absolutely, it is time to get your physical silver in your possession. Act like Dick. Act like Dick Allgaier. Sit in your lawn chair on the beach and watch the insanity. All right, so here it is again. I talked about this yesterday. There are big, massive players taking delivery today for contracts, COMEX contracts that they have. Now, it is not a delivery month for silver. You're not going to see the deliveries happen on the silver. Where you're going to see them is in London. And yesterday, there was like 3,500 contracts that were delivered instantly in London because they transferred the contracts from the COMEX over to London for immediate delivery. Same thing happened yesterday. So the first 3 days in April, 30 million ounces stood for immediate delivery. And what I'm saying is they can do it on the COMEX, but then you run the problem with running into the CFTC. Now, what did the Hunt brothers get nailed for? They had about 110 million ounces of long future positions on the COMEX, and they changed all the rules. Sellers only, no buyers. And then the price of silver went from $50 down to $20 and $10, and then they took out the Hunt brothers. They were idiots for using the criminals' exchange to try to take delivery. They should have just stuck to the physical. And I think now people are sticking to the physical. Those taking out the cabal, the banking cabal, the deep state, all that are sticking to physical, which is great. But you can't get it on the COMEX because the COMEX will shut down. So they're doing these things called EFPs, exchange for physical, where you take a COMEX contract, you transfer it over to the LBMA, you have to be a member there, and then you take delivery on the LBMA. So I think that's what's happening. 30 million ounces. You can check this via HarveyOrgansBlog.com, HarveyOrganBlog.com. He's been tracking this for years now, and I think it's an important track. Now, the biggest month ever was March of last year. 207 million ounces were delivered. I think we're going to blow that away this month. And right now, 3 working days into April, 30 million ounces have been transferred from the COMEX, and they want that silver now, not tomorrow, not the next day. How do you do that? You transfer the contracts over via a EFP, exchange for physical, and then you take immediate delivery in London. And it's happening. And I'm going to find out who is taking that delivery. And this all has to do with the JP Morgan lease. JP Morgan controls all physical silver in the system. So they control the 500 million ounces supposedly at SLV. They control about half of all COMEX physical silver in the warehouses. And they can probably, although we don't know who it is, they probably control the vast majority of the silver in London as well. Now, people are just nailing them there. They're yanking their silver out. Countries around the world, the rich people around the world, the poor people, everybody and their mother has learned the secret that silver has been rigged for 170 years. The price of silver is wrong. It shouldn't be 85 to 1 with gold. It should be 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Even if gold doesn't go anywhere. I think gold will go to $5,000 to $10,000 before the exchange is shut down. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, a 1-to-1 relationship with silver would put silver at $1,000 or $2,000, whatever gold is right now. And that's what is coming down the pike. There's only 6 billion ounces of each metal available above ground. It's coming out of the ground at 7 to 1. So it might go to 7 to 1, but you're still going to do 10 times as better with silver. If you have any gold at all, now's the time to swap it. It's long past time, but swap it for silver. If you love gold and want gold for the future, God bless you. And I truthfully, I'm going to switch a lot of my silver to gold when the time is right. But right now, if you love gold, you swap all your gold for silver, and then you buy it back when the ratio goes under 10 to 1, say 1 to 1, and you can buy 10 times or 8 times as much gold as you have right now. Wouldn't you like to take your gold and add 8 times to it? Add to your pile, as the U.S. Mint says on the back of the Silver Eagle, adding to the nest. So lots going on. It's so exciting. And oh, by the way, 3 GOP representatives introduced a gold standard bill to stabilize the value of the dollar. You know, we've heard rumblings of this stuff. This is a true bill. Where are people going to go when the banks crash? Obviously, to anybody who pays half an ounce of attention, is going to gold and silver as money. Why? Because you don't need a congressman to tell you what to do. It's already on the books. Now, the issue of how do we carry it around, Bix? We won't be carrying around silver coins in our pocket. That's ridiculous. You're probably right. We won't. That's why they put a little notch at the bottom of gold and silver eagles, so they can stamp a little identifier on there. And there's many ways to do it. There's a braille system that Cliff had talked about. There's a company that uses diamond dust to put identifiers in the tiniest places, because diamond dust is hard, and they can attach it to the silver and gold on the bottom of the coin, and then have some kind of reader at the bank where you can go in and say, okay, give me Federal Reserve notes that are promissory notes for this actual piece of gold and silver. Your actual gold and silver will be redeemed at the bank using these identifiers. And that's what the Road to Ruta documents had this very clearly in the Banking Basics pamphlet that came out the same day. It didn't have a red exclamation point on the Fed Boston website, but it came out with the Road to Ruta documents, the Wishes and Rainbows comic book, and the Road to Ruta, a teacher's guide on the future of the United States monetary system. This is coming from the Fed. This is not coming from Bix Weir's invention. This is actual documentation out of the Fed Boston. And I have studied it. I've explained it to people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to roadtoruta.com. And if you go to roadtoruta.com, go over to the in the public road, everybody can look at this and analyze whatever you want. These 2 videos will explain to you what's going on right now. I made these years ago, but the same thing. The road to root of theory has not changed since I discovered it on January 1st, 2007. Of course, it's expanded, and I've filled in a lot of the missing pieces, like the gold in the Grand Canyon. I didn't know about it in the beginning. And then I discovered it and had to sit there for years and find proof that it actually is there. And absolutely it is there. It is all up and down the Colorado River, as a matter of fact. And it just matters. The only thing that it needs is a higher gold price to get it. Billions and billions of ounces just sitting there waiting for us to pick it up. But we can't do it effectively and cost effectively at the time it was $20.67 in 1900. Well, now all that area is in national parks up and down all over the Colorado River. And then we never found the mother lode, supposedly. Although there's many, many, many proofs that we have found many mother lodes. And what is the mother lode? That is the original seam of gold that makes all the placer gold downstream. Placer gold is the little specks and flakes over the years that chip off the mother lode and go all up and down the Colorado River. Billions and billions and billions of ounces. There's a hell of a lot of gold. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. The U.S. government has inklings. But we did a gold deal with China where we backed the deal. This is in 1934. We backed the deal with gold in the Grand Canyon to be delivered in the 1950s, which it was. And I go through some of that on these 2 videos. Go check it out. So yeah, I talked about this a million times, but this is interesting. What is the first thing that comes to mind when everybody sees the dollar imploding? You know, the amazing thing is, it took me probably 5 years to get a full grasp after I bought my first ounce of gold. Actually, it was a mining stock, Newmont Mining, back in the late 90s. It took me years, 4 or 5 years to figure out, fiat monetary system, the Fed, all this stuff. Everybody now is speaking that same language that I spoke a long, long time ago after I figured it out. Everybody learned so much faster than I did, but there's more information available. And cryptocurrencies, God bless cryptocurrencies. If you don't like cryptocurrencies, you have to like them for one reason. They opened people's eyes to the banking and monetary system. They made people learn. When Elon Musk said buy Digibyte or Shiba Inu or whatever he was pumping, you're like, what are you talking about? All these tiny, crazy people are now buying it just because Elon Musk said so. Elon was teaching the world, teaching the kids of the world what fiat money is, what unbacked, what a fractional reserve system is. The lessons that have been learned in the past, say, 10 years since cryptos have been out there, that's invaluable. The system was always doomed to fail. It's only a question of when people wake up. And people have woken up. And as a matter of fact, as the dollar crashes, is there any congressperson who's going to stand in the way of this gold bill? Now, I read through briefly the bill, and it's talking about 2-year time frame to implement. That will change instantly when the banks crash. Instantly. So I like seeing it. The 2 years is kind of laughable because once the information is out there, that's it. We live in a confidence-based, unbacked, global fiat monetary system. It's in your own possession now. Get it in your own possession. And the signs are everywhere. BRICS nations are developing a new currency as quest for global de-dollarization accelerates. I would just like to warn every country in the world, don't put too much energy and effort into it because it won't last. As soon as you announce it, it'll be over. It's game over. And game over because we can never have unbacked fiat currency again, at least as long as our memory and our children's memory and our grandchildren's memories are alive. Because we will have gone through something so traumatic that it's going to take generations for us to forget about it. And that is the destruction of a global unbacked fiat monetary system. Nobody's ATM will work anywhere in the world. And you might say, Oh my God. Or you might not even understand it. What do you mean? I have my bank. It's FDIC insured. FDIC has 120, I think they have 120 now, $billion in their insurance fund. And they insure 18 trillion. I think it's 18, not counting, or that might be counting the uninsured. Anyway, it's a number so big that it doesn't matter what, they can stamp their approval on it. It would still have to go to Congress for a bailout. And I'll guarantee you, Congress can't agree on anything. No way Congress can agree on going to a gold standard right now. Now, when the system falls apart, will Congress still be there? I don't think so. So I don't think this bill is even going to matter. We'll find out, though, right? We'll find out. Interesting. RFK Jr. files to challenge Biden for 2024 Democratic nomination. Anybody, a steaming turd that runs against Biden is going to win. If there was free and fair voting, which there isn't. And by the way, the U.S. Postal Service has a patent on a new voting system that's blockchain-based that you can't cheat and lie and steal with. They had it before the Trump election, the first Trump election. They chose not to implement it because everybody wants to rig the elections. The left and the right want to rig the elections. So RFK Jr. is a huge anti-jabber. Bravo to him. This guy might turn the people on the left around, which is part of the process. It needs to be done. We need to all start getting along. Can't we all just get along, as Rodney King says? I think his only problem was he has got vocal issues that he's been dealing with for years and doesn't have that strength of voice, which means a lot. It's a powerful thing to be, if you're going to run the world, you have to have a strong voice, physically strong voice. And I don't think he has that available to him. I haven't heard him speak in a while, but when I did hear him speak, I think he's had some operations or something. But a great guy, a great patriot, and hopefully things like this, other people jumping in the race who are truthers, shall we say, is good for our country. I don't think Trump need to be our president. He doesn't need to be our president. He's done and he's doing everything in the background to take care of this problem. If you're like me and believe, he's still in charge, or people, the government, the military, whoever is still in charge, there are people working to take down the bad guys. So what kind of president do we need after the crash? That's what we need to get in our mind. If we don't have to fight anybody else, we don't need Trump. If we don't need to fight, jail, expose the bad guys, which I think will all happen when the financial system collapses, we won't need Trump for the future. And there are a lot of people who would, what about Catherine Austin Fitts? Get her up there for the financial side. She should run the Treasury, obviously. I wouldn't say obviously. But she's one of my favorites out there, absolutely. And she knows government, but government will be different. Everything's going to be different when the system shuts down. So that's where we are. Again, I'll be talking to Jenny Moonstone. We're gonna track down where the silver's going, who's got it, and what it's being used for. Is it in the hands of the good guys or the bad guys? That's going to be a good one. That will be posted on the private road probably later today. Go check it out. You want to join the private road, go to roadtoruta.com. Click on subscribe today. And at least today and tomorrow, we're still giving away the silver Ruta coin, the 1 ounce Ruta Lives coin, hand-painted, double stamped with numbered, you name it. This is the coolest coin out there. And it is symbolic of what we're heading into. We're not heading into darkness and disparity. We're headed into a sound monetary system, which is the best thing for the people of the United States and the people of the world. All right? This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.